December 10, you passed the Road Traffic Amendment Bill, which legalizes commercial operation of motorcycles, tricycles, and quadricycles under what you call stricter safety regulations. Many people think this is a terrible idea. Let me give you an example. A senior lecturer at KNUST, Dr. Solomon Foko Kwarteng, says Ghana is not ready for commercial Okada operations. Speaking on Otek FM's Nyansapo show, he warned that allowing Okada riders to operate commercially will increase accidents and crime rates. He emphasized that the country lacks preparedness for the legislation, citing concerns over safety and security implications. He believes the move could exacerbate existing challenges, urging caution.
I take the part of urging caution. But to say that Ghana is not ready for the motorcycle, tricycles, and quadricycles, we are not different from people from Rwanda. We are not different from people from India. We are not different from any other part of the world that is implementing these, allowing motorcycles and tricycles for commercial purposes. We are all human beings. The caution aspect, yes. But let me say that either two, we didn't have any regulations or any legal framework to deal with such issues. And the people were operating. They are operating because of the modern challenges we have. But I come from a rural area. Sometimes some communities, a whole week, no vehicle passes there. The only thing you will see is the motorcycle or the tricycle. And they are not allowed to do commercial business. So it is somebody passing them and meet you on the way and give you a lift. But if it is commercialized, those rural areas, people will now buy motorbikes and take it as a job. Get to the road and they'll be able to pick you to wherever you want to go. Because there's legal framework now, the police will be able to determine that, okay, you have violated these laws and we will use this law to punish you. It will not be like free for all and there's no anything to guide anybody. I always say that, look, when you get to any traffic light point, when the light is red, they won't stop. Because that's where police can easily come and then pull out your key and then arrest you. So in trying to dodge traffic, then another person crosses and then there's accident. We also want to use this opportunity to tell the Okada riders, they've given me this assurance. Some of them will become ambassadors in talking to their colleagues. It is just the behavior change. Let's change our mind. Let's be more professional and careful when we are using the roads. It is not something scientific and logic for other citizens to be able to use motorcycles to do commercial businesses with low rate accident levels.
We'll take a break.
We can do that.
We'll come back to discuss more of this. My guest is the Honorable Minister for Transportation, Joseph Bukari Nikpe. We're discussing a number of issues: traffic, mobility, the controversial road traffic amendment, and other modes of transportation. This is the point of view. Stay with us. Welcome back. So tonight on The Point of View, we're speaking to Minister for Transport and MP for Saboba, the Honorable Joseph Bukari Nikpe. He was telling us that he got to town today, first driving and then taking an aircraft and then coming into Accra from his constituency. There's a big controversy around the law that legalizes commercial use of motorbikes. You did say that in rural communities like where you are from, that may be the only mode of transport for the last mile. Some are wondering why you don't differentiate between, because we know, for example, that in Tamale, in other parts of the country, people ride motorbikes and it doesn't cause any problem. I think the challenge with commercial motorbikes and sometimes tricycles is the urban areas. Accra, Kumasi, there's already congestion. They don't obey traffic regulation. And it adds to the urban confusion. So why didn't you consider differentiating the areas? So you can say in rural communities where Okada is the main means of transport, it is legalized. But in urban areas where there are other forms of transportation, maybe there was a different approach to use. Why did you legalize it for everybody?
Bernard, the challenge of transportation is a holistic matter affecting all parts of Ghana. We just talked of, as doing some, putting in some measures to be able to help our commuters after close of work or in the morning to get to work. People are stranded everywhere looking for means of transport. This is fast link, the last mile journey. The issue of accidents to the motorcycles was because there was no legal framework to regulate the activity. And so they were engaging in illegality. And so they had to do it in a fast manner.
But if we can't stop people from engaging in an illegality by way of enforcement, how can you enforce when you legalize? Because the same people are going to enforce.
The need aspect of it should be looked at. That even the passenger who volunteered to sit behind a motorbike would have been standing at the roadside for God knows how many hours. And so if there's any least opportunity to get transport, means of transport to move, the person will want to get to another point to do business. What we have to do is the caution aspect of enforcing our laws and ensure that anybody who operates within the transport industry will be able to do so regarding or respecting.
You mentioned
Rwanda.
Laws. What I've never been to Rwanda, but what I've been told is that there are many things that people in Rwanda do. Number one, they are more organized society than us. Rwanda is cleaner. People obey traffic rules. The people riding the motorbikes are well uniformed. You don't see people riding without helmets. You don't see them wearing t-shirt and chalewote riding motorbike. So it's a well-regulated space. People obey the law. What work have you put in place to ensure that now that you have legalized it, the way people behave is going to fit?
So with the bill, we have made provisions in it to set standards for each vehicle concerning safety, how your seat belts will conform with the make of the vehicle, the use of helmet, the use of fire extinguishers, the use of protective gear when you are on a motorbike. It spells out all the processes or what you should have. And not just that everybody who has a motorbike is going to engage in commercial work. You have to go through registration with the DVLA and you'll be put into proper training and a prescribed protective gear for security of you, the rider, and the passenger. So it provides for all those improved security features, all aimed at having safety on our roads. But either two, you could not enforce somebody wearing a protective gear, a required one, the helmet, and vehicles. You enter vehicles, no any seat belts, no any better sitting arrangements, and the drivers do not even belong to any union, and they do things the way they want. With this one, you have to belong to a union. The unions will be given proper training. Next year is going to be fireworks with we and then the unions, and we want to ask for their cooperation.
So with all the problems you are having with GPRTU and all this, you are going to create more unions. You aren't you creating more Allah for yourself? You already have the daily headache of unions in the driving of vehicles with all these problems.
Unions in the aspect of the new creation we have added. The motorbikes and tricycles and quadricycles will need to belong to unions. But for vehicles, existing vehicles, they already have unions. It's just that we have to give them some kind of support to be able to help us implement the laws we have agreed with them or the regulations that we have agreed to operate under. So it is not necessarily coming to the vehicle transport sector alone to add unions. But you know, the motor cycle, they will have their unions. And we want to do them on regional basis or even sometimes at the district level so that they can help us bring in discipline.
Lastly, in countries that this is legalized, the infrastructure anticipates their existence. So for example, when I go to Togo, when you go to every traffic light, there's the traffic light for a car and the traffic light for a motorbike. Some of the roads, the way they mark it, is very clear that they anticipate motorbikes are also legal entities that must ride. In Ghana, you don't see any motorbike level traffic light. So what infrastructure preparation has been put in place? Number two, now that you've passed the law, will there be a training of Okada riders before they start carrying passengers? Or right now, anybody riding a motorbike can simply say is qualified, therefore is picking people and collecting money?
Bernard, the transport sector needs improvements on a daily basis. having dedicated traffic signs for motor riders. Yes, we do not have. But now we have legalized their operations. So going into future, we are going to see some of the changes, the kind of traffic lights we are now going to be installing at all points. You remember that Togo is not quite different from us. We are the same people.
They are more disciplined.
They are more disciplined.
When I went there, I didn't see people riding motorbike without helmet. In Ghana, I see plenty.
It's about enforcing laws and being disciplined yourself. And this is where I am saying that we have to get into calling on this ministry, myself, my colleagues, the Minister for Local Government, the Minister for Interior, and the Minister for Roads and Highways. A coordinated effort in ensuring discipline on our roads. And we have to do this by withdrawing some season or taking off some drivers their license. We have the capacity to do that. Bringing in more discipline. If you are a motor rider, you are not just a commercial rider. You are a private rider. If you want to be a commercial rider, you have to be registered, or your license should be for commercial purposes by DVLA. And DVLA will do so by giving you some training. And that is why we are opening more offices and creating space to train all the new riders who will take advantage of this law. So it is not just that every rider who has a motorbike is going to engage in commercial business. You have to be registered with the DVLA to do commercial work with your motorbike, and trained and given the standards that you will need to have in terms of safety and how you are going to behave on the roads.
Let's talk about